Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Cory Means Business podcast and YouTube show. Appreciate you joining me. Today I'm flying solo. Don't have a guest today, but I think that's going to be just all right because we've got some pretty serious things to talk about here, I think. Today's topic is going to be what is the election doing and what does the potential outcome mean for us as far as whether Trump wins or whether Biden wins. And I really want to take a look at this a little different than what you guys are used to. Certainly I know there's no shortage of videos and people on YouTube and social media talking about being pro-Trump or they hate Trump, pro-Biden, they hate Biden, whatever. So what I want to do is I want to take a fresh look at it instead of hating somebody or loving somebody. I want to look at it just from a strictly business standpoint as far as business-wise, job-wise, financial-wise, the core things that matter to the vast majority of us in society. Who can deliver it? Why could they deliver it? Who can't deliver it? And why can't they deliver it? And just to kind of establish what's going on as far as me personally and my ideology goes, for the first half of my life, I was a devout Democrat. Okay, I grew up very poor, grew up, thinking that Democrats were, for me, right, part of the victim group of the very poor, and the rich are evil and the poor are somehow virtuous because being poor just makes you virtuous for some weird reason. Anyway, I got talked into that. And so I was a solid Democrat all the way until I was like 26 years old. But then I kind of started realizing, maybe what I'm being told here isn't exactly correct. And maybe the policies of the Democratic Party weren't going to align with what I was trying to accomplish with my life, right? And so I want to really dig into why I shifted, what about the conservative ideology attracted to me, and what since that time I have kind of figured out about myself and about businesses and making money and being successful and all those things that we all want, how that has aligned with certain ways that things get done when it comes to policy. Now, we all watched the presidential debate last night, or at least a lot of us watched the presidential debate. It was absolutely a shit show. The lady on CNN definitely nailed it right. It was definitely a shit show. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But why was it a shit show? Well, it was a shit show because there was no policies discussed. It was just mudslinging, name-calling, interrupting. And a lot of that, fell on Chris Wallace, I think. I don't think, obviously Trump, Biden are both going to be very passionate about trying to get their message across. They're going to be very passionate about that they're the better pick for whatever reason. And Chris Wallace's job is to obviously moderate that and make sure that their messages get delivered. And he did a horrible job at that. Matter of fact, him interrupting them every time they started talking really, really cheated the American people. So I want to go over it a little bit with a fresh perspective from an aspect of I'm not going to hate somebody and like somebody. I'm just going to say, look, these are the issues that affect most of us. This is how I think about them and how I feel about them, and why I think that for most people who want to be successful, who want to have a good job, who want to have a business, who want to, make good money, have a nice home, be able to support their family, be able to save, get wealthy, these are the policies that matter to most of us, okay? So one of the things I want to address initially here is the idea of a victim class, okay? Because one of the Democratic narratives that really gets driven more than anything else is this whole idea of a victim class, that somehow if you can be established and put into a victim, made a victim and put into some victim category, that the Democrats are the way that you should vote, because the Democrats somehow are always the champion of whatever victim someone chooses to be, whether it's gay, whether it's, based on ethnicity, religion, whether it's the color of your skin, whether it's where you live, a big city or, rural America, the heartland or New York City or LA. It's always based on some kind of a victimization that you have. Climate change, right? Anything that has to do with this is something somebody is doing to you, and because of that, we need to save you, and because we need to save, you need to vote for us. And this is really the Democratic game plan. It always is. If you're not a member of a victim class, well, then the Democrats don't even want you. There's no reason for you to vote Democrat. You're not a victim. I have a big problem with the victimization of people, and here's why. Not that there isn't bias and bigotry in the world. Of course there is. We're all individual humans. We're far from perfect. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And every single one of us at some point has demonstrated bigotry and bias and malice against other people, period, for a number of different reasons. And again, they vary, okay? Certainly, again, anybody could sit down and come up with ways that they could be a victim. We know that. We know we could all sit down. I could sit down and I could make myself a victim real easy. And matter of fact, again, for the first 26 years of my life, I was in that victim class, the victim category. And I was poor. And because I was poor, I had to vote Democrat, and I had to be a Democrat because the Democrats were going to rob the rich and give the poor free stuff, and then the poor would not be as poor, and they'd be taken care of because the rich were evil and the poor were virtuous. Once I became an adult and started, making money and got, a couple of college degrees, I started realizing, wait a second, is being a victim really going to help me though? Yeah, I get it. You're saying I'm a victim and you want to help me, so vote for you, but is giving me free stuff really going to help me? At the end of the day, am I going to get wealthy off of free stuff? Has anybody, besides politicians, gotten wealthy off of this free stuff? And the answer obviously is no. We know this. There is nobody that's doing well off of the free stuff that's provided. Anybody that's living off of this free stuff that the Democratic Party continues to promise, okay, what does their life look like? And I want you to answer this fairly and honestly. Is that the life you want to live? Do you want to live the life of a freeloading victim that the Democrat Party wants you to be? Does that life look attractive? No, it does not. And we can see this life playing out in a lot of the inner cities of big cities, a lot of the inner city of Chicago, Baltimore, New York, L.A., San Francisco, etc. There's swaths and mass numbers of people that are in poverty. Is this the life you want? Does this look good to you? Of course it doesn't. It's miserable. That's where all the crime is. That's where all the drug use is. That's where all the abuse is, domestic violence, murder, okay? There's a reason why all the murder and all the bad crime is in these areas, because guess what? The freeloading lifestyle leads to those things. So unless you want to be a drug addict or commit crimes or be on the victim side of all that, I really don't recommend you saddling up for the victim role and going and living in these conditions that the Democrats want to put you in. Here's what I suggest. Choose not to be a victim, okay? Choose not to be a victim. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your choice. If the person across the street doesn't like me because I'm a Trump supporter, am I going to say I'm a victim? Now I'm going to ruin my life and I've got to go live in subpar conditions and high crime areas and not make any money because that person over there doesn't like me for some reason? Man, if you're going to do that to yourself, you've got some serious mental issues, let's face it, okay? Don't choose to be a voluntary victim, and don't let anybody, including the Democratic Party that needs victims, talk you into being a victim. You are not a victim. Don't be a victim, okay? Doesn't matter. Oh, that guy doesn't like me. That person doesn't like me. Fine, they don't like you. So what? You don't got to like them either. The great thing about living in a society is that there's going to be a good percentage of people that don't like you. Oh, well, for all kinds of reasons. Some of it might be your skin color. Some of it might be your hair color. Some of it might be that your laugh is weird. Some of it might be that, they don't like the car you drive. Some of it might be that you're wrong religion. You're too tall. You're too short. You're too fat. You're too skinny. Who the hell knows? You cannot spend your energy focusing on who doesn't like you, who doesn't want you around them, because of 170 different characteristics that you may or may not even have. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. Your sexual orientation and what you choose to do with it has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you have to be a victim. No matter who you are, no matter what you are, there is going to be a percentage of people that just don't like you. That's just the way it is. And there is no custom tailoring that out of anybody. There's no law that can be passed that's going to make that go away. There's nobody that's going to say, hey, I'm going to wave a magic wand. You know, this is what gets me about the Democratic message, the Democrat message. There's a magic wand to wave that all of a sudden now there's not going to be people that don't like you because of the color of your skin or your sexual orientation or that you're tall or short or fat or skinny. Are you really believing, do you really get talked into the fact that there's some magic wand that can be waved that's going to make people's bigotry simply disappear? Do you think that, you know, putting these wild books or villainizing the other group that is being perceived as being the villains, do you think that solves the problem? Well, we already know the answer to that. We've watched it play out in these major cities over the last several months. The answer is absolutely no. Matter of fact, when you do that, you stoke that hatred. There are more racists being created right now with this nonsense that's going on, BLM, Antifa, the rioting, the peaceful protesting bullshit. There is more racists being made because of that. Racists aren't being unmade because you go burn down a bunch of businesses in the city. Racists aren't being unmade because you demand that, you know, this life matters more than someone else, or this life needs to get preferential treatment, or this life should be treated different than that person. If you're out there with a sign demanding that you get preferential treatment because of the color of your skin, I got news for you. You're the racist. And you know what you're doing? You're creating more racists. That's it. That doesn't solve a single problem. You know what solves it? I do have the magic wand. You know what solves it? Stop choosing to be a victim. That's what solves it. The second you stop choosing to be a victim is when the rest of it goes away. It's just that simple. You're not a victim, someone can't be a villain. That's simple. The great thing, you know, about Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s is they did the heavy lifting. It got done. There are strict laws now barring any kind of bigotry or racism systemically. Now, does that mean that the guy that's getting out of the elevator with you is going to look at you and not like the color of your skin? Of course it doesn't. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Some Latino cannot like the black guy cannot like the white guy cannot like either one of them. It doesn't change anything. That is not what systemic racism is. Systemic racism means that you can't get a loan, that you can't live in a certain neighborhood, that you can't get a certain job. And I can tell you, if any of those things are provable as factual, then whoever is being discriminated against just got rich, okay? Anybody that gets discriminated against in this day and age just made millions. Get a lawyer on contingency and sue whoever discriminated against you systemically, okay? And you just got rich. So congratulations. That's where systemic racism is. It can't exist. The price is too high. Now, are there bigots? Of course there are. Are there people that don't like you for the color of your skin or your religion or your sexual orientation? You goddamn right. But is it systemic? Is it going to make it so your life can't be amazing? Absolutely not. And if you listen to any politician tell you that, those people only want to destroy you and hold you back. And that's my problem with it. If I need a victim to be relevant, then I have a problem. If a politician needs a victim to be relevant, if a politician can't take normal people, decent people that already got their lives together, already got a decent job, already live in a pretty decent place, already are pretty safe, okay? If a politician can't take that person and improve their life, then they're full of shit, and you need to recognize that. If the politician needs to create a victim, then run. Do not vote for that person, because them making you the victim only destroys you. And it's a cheap political narrative created by snake oil salesmen, okay? You guys some of you might not know what a snake oil salesman is. Back in the frontier days, used to be these guys that would, go around in wagons, and they'd come up to a little town or whatever, and they'd have a secret potion, okay? And the secret potion would solve all kinds of problems. Well, in order to solve problems, you got to have problems. So the first order of business a snake oil salesman has to do is they have to create problems. Now, there might not have even been a problem. You might not even known you had a problem until the snake oil salesman tells you have a problem. Then the snake oil salesman sells you the fact that you have this problem, and because of that problem, you're a victim, of course. But don't you worry, I have the solution, this magic elixir. And then they would sell the magic elixir. Now, the magic elixir was either just crap or something, water with whatever in it, some weeds and twigs and who knows what else, some bug guts, I don't know. And then they would sell it to you as the cure for the problem that they made you realize you had. Sound familiar? Yes. It's called the Democratic Party. And I didn't figure this out until I was about 26 years old. So looking at it from that position, never be a voluntary victim, okay? So when we look at it and say, okay, your life's going to be bad because you're a victim, run from those people. Now, on policies, okay, let's talk about the policies and what they really mean. Let's talk about what Democrat policies do and what conservative policies do. And we really should be saying liberal versus conservative, because Republicans and Democrats, they're so mixed up. There's some Democrats that are really Republicans that are really, really liberals, or really Democrats. So, bottom line is they're so mixed up now, it's hard to even know who's who and what's what. So let's break it down, conservative versus liberal, okay? Now, again, I get it. The liberal message sounds fantastic. The snake oil salesman sounds fantastic. What? I can just take this magic elixir, this potion, and all my problems are solved. Yep. Now, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Well, that's how snake oil salesmen exist. Here's the problem with it. One, the problem you had probably was a self-created problem or a problem they created for you. And two, their magic potion is bullshit, okay? So are you helped by this? No, you're hurt by it. Okay, taking a problem you either didn't have or taking a problem you might have had, but now I'm going to make it worse, and then I'm going to sell you something that can't fix it, does not help you. And so when you listen to political messaging, you really have to pay attention to how this is supposed to fix my life or this is supposed to fix this problem. Because there is no magic potion. It's not going to happen. No one's going to pass a law or a bill or get free shit to you that's going to solve your problems. Again, if it was, we would go to inner cities in Chicago, Baltimore, New York, San Francisco, LA, and those would be the greatest places in the world to be because they're fully bought into the liberal ideology that free shit solves problems. Does it? If it does, I want you to go down to visit Southside Chicago projects and you tell me how damn good it is down there because they're fully bought into the liberal ideology. And you tell me how fantastic it is. Go take a little tour of Baltimore and you tell me how fantastic Baltimore is. They're fully bought in. Okay? Don't buy the snake oil. Stop buying it. Now let's talk about what really does matter. Okay? There's only a few things that really matter to most of us. Let's face it. One, and this is the biggest one. Income, right? Income is what we all want. We all want income. We all want money. We don't want free money. And the reason why you don't want free money is because free money has strings attached. Okay, anybody that gives you free money, right? If you were in the mall or walking down the street and somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I want to give you some free money," would you say like, "Great"? No, you'd go, "Wait. What's attached to this? What's the strings?" Because there's going to be strings. And if the free money's coming from a politician, not only is there strings, there's handcuffs, okay? So you got to be very, very careful about the free promise. What you really want and what any of us really want is income. I just want to be able to make some damn money. I want to make some good money so I can buy some stuff. I can get a new house. I can get a new car. I can, live in a safe neighborhood. I can put my kids in a decent school district. I can, afford the good medical insurance, okay? That's the other thing too, right? So income is number one. We'll break these down. Income's number one. Number two, good health, right? Health. Number three, safety. For you and your family, right? Now, these are the three things that matter. These are the three things that really matter to most all of us, right? The rest of it is all side bullshit. This are the three things that matter to us. Making money, being healthy, and being safe. Meaning I can walk out of my house, I can walk down the street, I can go to the store, go to my business and it's not robbed, go to my business, go to my place of work and it's not on fire, okay? My kids can walk out of school safe. They can walk down the street safe. They can play with their friends out in the cul-de-sac safe. I can drive my car down the freeway and be safe. Okay, that's what that means, right? And safety comes from what? Law and order. You've heard that term being thrown around a lot. Law and order. What does law and order mean? Law and order means that the streets are safe. Now, let's look at the liberal ideology, what it provides. Free, you're a victim. Free stuff. And again, this is nothing that's just an idea. This is something that's in practice, full practice in a lot of cities. You can go see this play out. You can see the victim free stuff role. And let's talk about what the victim free stuff role goes, right? So we can go to any inner city and we can see how this, you're a victim, here's some free stuff plays out. Let's talk about how it plays out for income, okay? Does it play out well for income? Yeah, no. I ain't seen a lot of mansions and Ferraris down in the inner cities of these places, unless it's the neighborhood drug dealer, of course. Other than that, the people aren't living well, okay? So the income, the income on this liberal ideology isn't very good. Now, don't confuse this with professors and politicians and big businesses that claim they're liberal. They're not liberal. They claim they are. You know who their accountants all are? Conservatives, Jewish conservatives. That's who their accountants are. Okay, they may appear to be liberal on their Instagram page. Behind the scenes, they're as conservative as it gets. Why? They want high income, they want to be healthy, and they want to be safe. So what do? They get good jobs, make a lot of money, which allows them to get really good health care, okay, whether it's a health insurance plan or being able to go to the doctor and pay cash, okay? They get good health. And the third thing, guess what? They lived in a really nice neighborhood behind a guard gate. No one's getting in, right? So they don't got to worry about it. Their kids go to a great school. If they do have trouble with the law, guess what? They got 5 great attorneys on it, and they're going to get off, right? So reality of it is, the liberal ideology leads to poverty, poor health, and no safety. And we can see this play out in every city in this country, every major city in this country. These neighborhoods, people are broke. How's the health care? How's that work out? How's that Medicaid work out? Good? No, it doesn't work out good. They're in bad health. COVID hit. Guess who got hit the hardest? Guess who the vast majority of people that died are? Poor people. No resources. Medicaid? No. Free health care? No. Yeah, if you break your arm, can you go to the doctor and get a cast for it? Sure. Top quality health care delivered quick on a priority basis? No. That's not going to ever happen free. You know how it's going to happen? You have money, you have resources, you have great private insurance, or you can pay cash. That's how that's going to happen. Like anything else in this world, okay? So they're broke, they're unhealthy, safe. Let's see, is the inner city safe? Let me take a look. No, they're not safe. Highest crime, highest murder rate, highest domestic violence, highest child abuse, highest violent crimes, right? A lot of violent crimes happening in really nice neighborhoods around the country. No, not really, not so much, okay? Causation. That there is a direct causation to these 3 things not being deliverable to victims who want free things. The people that have the high income, the great health care, and are safe are people that make money, okay? They don't get handed free money, they make money. Now, almost everybody, besides a couple of sectors, okay, actors, singers, politicians, college professors, okay, are going to be conservatives if they make money. They're going to be Republicans. That's how it is. Why? Because the conservative ideology leads people to that place. Now we've talked about the liberal ideology and where it leads. Let's talk about the conservative ideology and where that leads, okay? So if I'm a conservative, right, I am pro-business. Now, the Democrats spin this to be an evil thing. Oh, he's pro-business. He's why am I pro-business? Let me tell you why. There's only two places in this world that you can make good money, okay? And it isn't in the ghetto from the free money coming from the liberals. There's two places in this world you can make good money. One is owning a business and running it well. Two is having a really good job, right, where they pay you a lot of money. Now, in order for either of those two options to exist, the environment has to be pro-business. You can't create an anti-business environment and expect that there's going to be businesses that are doing very well and can afford to pay high wages and hire a lot of people, okay? And the business owner is making money. Therefore, they're doing well enough that they want to hire more people and pay them a good wage. That cannot exist in an anti-business environment. So we know that, unfortunately, the Democrats create bad business environments. How? Over taxation. And you heard it, right? And you hear this in this mantra. Oh, they're going to pay their fair share. First of all, billionaires ain't ever going to pay a percentage that's the same percentage as people that make W-2 money. It doesn't work that way. It's not supposed to work that way. It can never work that way. If it did, there would be no billionaires. There would be no big businesses, okay? The people that work at IBM, people that work at Walmart, they could not exist if taxation was done as a percentage evenly. Now, the reality of it is, if you look at any statistics, the top 10% of earners pay 70% of the income taxes. The top 10% pay 70%. That is more than their fair share, okay? And big businesses, when you hear the liberals talk about all the businesses don't pay any taxes, they're not paying their fair share. If you start having these big businesses pay huge sums of income taxes, guess what they're not doing? They're not going to be hiring more people to work there. And they're not going to be raising wages. They're going to be lowering wages. So again, when we talk about how to make good income, there's only two ways. Have a business that's successful or get a really good job. The Democrat Party, the liberal ideology, creates an environment where that will not exist. It cannot exist. Overtax businesses, you take away jobs. Overtax businesses, people don't want to get into business. Therefore, now there isn't new businesses that are now hiring. You have to just understand how this works so that it's not as confusing and these snake oil salesmen can't sell you on this bullshit, okay? You have got to understand how it works. And I'm going to help you get there, right? So, pro-business. Conservative ideology is pro-business. Yes, lower taxes on businesses will create greater stimulus for those businesses to go and hire more people, buy more stuff, reinvest in the business. I can tell you as a business owner, I reinvest in my business. When I go and buy all new equipment, when I go and build a studio, when I go and hire somebody, I'm creating more jobs. I'm creating better paying jobs. If you just take all the money from me as a business owner and tax it, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not buying anything new, which means I'm not creating more new jobs. Now, you know what? I'd like to hire a couple more people. Can't afford it. I got to pay taxes. Guess what? Now there's less jobs. You know what? I'd like to give that person a raise, and that person a raise. Can't do it. Taxes are too high. Now I can't do the raises. Therefore, guess what? Income falls. There's only two places to make good money. Understand how this works so these snake oil salesmen can't sell you this bullshit anymore. You want a good paying job. You want to be able to open your own business and run a profitable business. That can only happen in a pro-business environment. Overtaxation will kill that. Of course it will. Okay? The next thing, regulation. And this is going to go into the next scam of these snake oil salespeople. Climate change. You keep hearing this bullshit climate change. It used to be called global warming. I'm old enough. It used to be called global warming. They had to come off of that because there was no evidence of actual global warming. So then it had to be climate change. Why can it be climate change? Why is climate change so slick and it works so well? Because every hurricane, every forest fire, okay, can be blamed on climate change. What a bunch of crap. You telling me that hurricanes didn't exist until the last 25 years? Is that right? You telling me that it didn't flood anywhere? Interesting. I wonder why we have so many lost cities from thousands and thousands of years ago. They're actually under the ocean now. I wonder what was going on then. Was it climate change? Yes, the climate changes. That's obvious. Okay, the climate changes. Is it man-made? That science has never been settled. That's a fact. Now, you want to research it? Go research it. When the snake oil salesman is going to point to, well, see, this guy also agrees that the problem exists. Yeah, guess what? The snake oil salesman is telling that guy, I'll give you 10% of everything I sell. When the scientist is getting grants from the government, just so happens to be the snake oil salesman who's in control of that part of the budget. Yes, you get the say what I want you to say, and I'll give you the grant. $20 million for your organization and your university. Just say there's climate change. If that isn't as obvious as it could possibly be to you, you have to have your brain checked, okay? Of course there's backdoor deals. Of course people are being paid off. Scientists can be bought like anyone else, like actors, like judges, like politicians. Anybody can be bought, right? You ever heard the term sell out? What do you think that means? They got bought. They got bought. You don't think these scientists that are broke and struggling and they try to keep their little lab open and they're trying to be relevant and they're trying to get their book out there and, you know, that they are not going to benefit if they say a certain thing in a certain way. Then all of a sudden here comes this $1 million grant because the politician that needed them to say that is thankful. You don't think that happens? Come on now. Don't be that naive. So the science on that is not settled. What's settled is that it's another way to create a victim class. And it's a way to actually create even a mass victim class because we're all victims of climate change, all of us. No, it's not just your skin color. No, it's not where you live. It's not your sexual orientation. It's not your religion. Oh, no. This boogeyman is coming for all of us. And we are all victims of it. You know, the guys that started this, or at least modern times started this, Al Gore, perpetuated by Obama. You know what's absolutely hilarious to me? They own mansions on the beach. Now, are you telling me that the guys that really believe that climate change is real went and bought $17 million mansions on the beach? That's the person you're going to listen to, that climate change is real? Okay, let's talk about the banks. There's a guy named John Pena. I don't know, you look him up. Let's talk about the banks. Okay, banks are pretty smart guys, right? And they listen to the scientists. Do you know that the banks are funding money hand over fist right now on building condo complexes on the beach in Florida? Weird. With 30 to 40-year mortgages, 50-year mortgages in some situations. Now, I wonder why the banks don't know this climate change is real. Let's see. Al Gore doesn't believe it. He bought a mansion on the beach. Obama doesn't believe it. He bought a mansion on the beach. The banks don't believe it because they're funding and building and helping to pay for condos on the beach. So clearly, everybody that's in the know is putting their money exactly the opposite place they're trying to tell you. Why? Because they're lying snake oil salesmen. That's why. Wake up. The guy that's living in a mansion on someplace he tells you you're going to be a victim of here shortly, 10 years, like AOC, we got 10 years left. 10 years is all that's left, and then the world's going to end. Obama's like, yeah, tell him 10 years. Hey, do we get those that new pool built in the mansion there in Martha's Vineyard on the beach? Oh, great. Oh, they're coming next week. Yeah, keep telling him 10 years. That's the bullshit some of you people fall for. Come on now, knock it off. Climate change is bullshit. It's a hoax. It's a hoax used by the snake oil salesman to get you to buy more snake oil. When you agree to this bullshit, guess what? oh, we're going to have to give 30 million to this group. We're going to have to give 80 million to this group. We're going to have to build a solar plant, and we're going to have to build 100 miles of windmills. Now, what do you think? Who do you think builds the windmills? Their buddies. That's who. They call their buddy. Hey, guess what, buddy? They bought it. And we're good to go on those windmills. Now, when I leave office, your company is going to sponsor me for all my future book deals, right? 50 million. Every one of these politicians that sells this Green New Deal bullshit, climate change bullshit, somehow makes $100-something thousand a year and they're multimillionaires. Somehow when they leave office, they're worth tens of millions of dollars out of nowhere because someone bought their book deal. Nobody buys their goddamn books. It's a scam. Wake up. It's a scam. It doesn't help you and your family to fight climate change. Okay? I want someone to put a comment wherever you're seeing this video or this podcast. I want you to tell me the one thing that benefited your family about you fighting for climate change. Go ahead. Tell me. Can't happen because it's bullshit. Just another snake oil scam, okay? So, pro-business means deregulating, not more regulation. Telling companies, oh, yeah, you're going to have to meet these new EPA standards. We're going to have to slap this on you, clean this, clean that. Oh, yeah, these cars you're building, yeah, we're going to have to put, people will be able to have to smoke the tailpipes and not ever get sick. Come on. That is not realistic. Those cars then become so expensive that poor people cannot afford them, which means now all they can afford is that clunker that's spilling oil all over the place. And now they can't afford that nice newer car that would do better for their family, would be cleaner because obviously it does have a newer engine and does have higher technology, isn't spilling oil all over the place. When you create an anti-pro-business environment, you hurt the poor. The rich could give a shit. I could give a shit. You can tell me I got to drive whatever. I'll go get it tomorrow. But who is hurt is the poor. They are now barred from getting newer, nicer stuff that would be cleaner, okay? And give me on climate change, I could go for hours. China, India, these people are dumping nuclear waste in rivers. I mean, climate change, really? You're worried that America's not doing enough? We have to kill ourselves and overtax and crush our businesses and lose all of our jobs so we can save the world? Us 330 million are going to save the other 7 billion that are throwing nuclear waste into the goddamn river, and we're going to save it? Come on now, wake up. Snake oil salesmen are selling you bullshit. The fact that you're not going to use a plastic straw and paper is going to somehow save the world while China's over there freaking throwing, just backing up dump trucks full of trash and toxic waste and dumping it in the ocean. But your use of a fucking paper straw is going to save the world. Come on, wake up. So, income, health. If you're making a lot of money, guess what? You're going to be able to afford great health, great private health care. You're going to be able to go to great doctors, need to see a specialist, no problem. Here's the money. If I have a problem, if something medical is wrong with me, I need a new this or new that, right? Trust me, I could afford to get it. Doesn't matter. My insurance won't pay for it. Who cares? I can afford to pay for it. Why? Because I've taken my income seriously. I've taken earning money seriously. I chose at age 26 no longer to be a Democratic victim. I chose to empower myself, get out of the victim situation, and go out in the world and take advantage of my American privilege, okay? And all the jobs I've done have absolutely nothing to do with the color of my skin. Up until a couple of years ago when I started building this platform, nobody even knew what color I was. All of my work and all of my businesses have been over the telephone. No one even knew who I was. American privilege is real, however, and we all have it. And if you're not using it by going out and getting yourself a good job and then hopefully building a business of your own and hiring people that you can then afford to pay them high salaries like I do, all of my people make more, 100, 200% more than in the same type of industries than they could make anywhere else. And I do that on purpose because I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my people, period. And that's what the vast majority of rich business owners do. They pay their people more. I certainly do. And I know all the other business owners that I know do as well. So be pro-business, not anti-business. It leads to income opportunities, which then, again, is going to take care of the health problems because you can afford great health care, right? Law and order, last big one, law and order. Liberal policies, okay? Let's talk about liberal policies. Again, we play this out in every city across America. They safe? No. Murder rates are high. Drug addiction is high. Domestic violence, child abuse, rape, all of it off the charts. Why? Because poverty breeds crime. It is not a color thing. It is not a demographic thing. It is poverty. It is money. Let's talk about this last lie. One last lie, and I'll try to finish this up before I go on too much longer. The last lie and the biggest one. This is the biggest one. I say the biggest one for last. We don't have an equal opportunity society, right? This is the snake oil that's been being sold this election cycle, that somehow we're not all equal. Somehow some of us got some privilege, others that I don't have, right? You got some privilege because of the color of your skin. You got some privilege because you're this religion. It's bullshit, okay? Of course it is. And we're not supposed to have equal outcomes. There's two things. We talk about equality, right? This word equality gets thrown around. Equality. Well, we don't have equality. We don't have equality. Of course we don't have equality, right? I'm not 7'2" and with a 45-inch vertical jump. You're not going to see me on TV playing in the NBA. That's a lack of equality. I'm not going to be able to play in the NBA. Guess what? I'm not equal to some of those basketball players physically. Okay? I can't be equal to them. So am I going to demand that the rules are changed, that the basket's lowered, that the court is made smaller, that somehow I'm given some type of a privilege so that I can play professional basketball? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to lower the standards so that an old white guy can still play NBA basketball? Is that how we solve the problem? It sounds preposterous, doesn't it? Because it is preposterous. We are not guaranteed equality of outcome. We are only guaranteed equality of opportunity. That's it. Okay. Now, when I was younger and my legs worked better and my knees didn't hurt, could I have played in the NBA? Sure, I could have. I could have trained every day, practiced. I could have been like another Steve Nash, John Stockton. You don't have to be super fast. Don't got to be super athletic. Don't have to jump that high. Although I could jump higher than both of those guys in my prime, I will say. But look, they were great basketball players. So there's other skill sets that you can bring and still be successful at it. So of course I could have been. But that's the equality of opportunity, not the equality of outcome. I didn't seize on that opportunity, therefore I never became an NBA player. Therefore, I'm not in the same conversation as Steve Nash and John Stockton. Of course not. Okay? A couple of other slow white guys. It was the equality of opportunity that mattered, not the quality of outcome. You are not guaranteed equality of outcome. That is socialism, okay? That is the promise of socialism. The promise of socialism is that we're all going to be guaranteed an outcome. Anybody that tells you this, again, is selling you snake oil. But this is the worst kind of snake oil. This is the type of snake oil that you die of. Not the kind that just gives you rashes and you swell up and doesn't work and was a lie. This type of snake oil literally kills you, right? The promise of the equality of outcome, which is the premise of socialism, which is the premise of Marxism, and which is what you're being told by this new liberal ideology. That somehow we have to be guaranteed this equality of outcome. Not going to happen. Can't happen. No matter what. Because you will never be able to give everybody the same outcome when you don't have the same input. You can't get the same output. We all have different talents. We all have different, again, I'm not going to be in the NBA, but I've got other talents. I've got talents of business. I've got talents of making money, teaching other people how to make money, increase income. Okay? So whatever the input is going to direct the output. The greater your input, the greater the output. You have equality of opportunity. You do not have guarantee of equality of outcome. Increase your input if you want your output to be greater. What does that mean? That you have to work on your skill set. You have to work on your knowledge base. And you have to work on showing up and actually taking it seriously and taking on the responsibility of earning your income. It is up to you and only you to take those things seriously. It is up to you and only you to go get a better skill set, to go get greater knowledge about how things work and how business works and how jobs work and how to excel in given a certain environment or given an environment at all. Okay, and this is the reason why I wrote the book, Maximize Your Now, How to Immediately Improve Your Financial Life. I wrote this book to save the people, or to help save the people that were on the same path I was until I was 26, the victim path. Okay, you do not need to be a victim. You can take control. And again, I get it. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes you're saying to yourself, hey, I don't know how to take control. I don't want to be a victim. I know there's so many of you right now that are listening to this video or this podcast or watching this video. You're saying to yourself, yeah, Cory, this all sounds great. I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to have to get the free stuff. I don't want to live in poverty and not have good health care and not be safe in my neighborhood and have my children be safe. You're right. I don't want that. But how do I do it? How do I get that high income? That's the reason I wrote the book, Maximize Your Now. You can find it on Amazon. Okay, it's on Amazon right now. Go to Amazon, Maximize Your Now. I think I still have it on the download for 99 cents or $1.99, something like that, where you can listen. You can get the Kindle version, and I think that Kindle also has the audio version too, where you can actually listen to it as a auto reader for $1.99. And if you want to invest $1.99 in that, then you don't care, right? If you won't pay $1.99, do you think I'm making money off the $1.99? If you're not going to get out $1.99 and take it seriously, then you're not even investing $1.99 into your ability to increase your income. You increase that income. You increase your income, the other two take care of themselves. Why? Because you can afford great health care and because you can go live in a safe neighborhood. And you can bring your family with you. That's the great thing too. You got to bring other people with you. As you learn how to create a high income, as you learn how those things work, you then can help others also do the same thing. Okay? So if you haven't gotten my book yet, get my book. Get it. It has these answers. And understand that whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, whether you think he's a big mouth or he's arrogant or egotistical, yeah, he's all those things. Of course he is. Of course he is. But just know this. In order to fight these snake oil salespeople that had taken over everything, in order to fight these liars and these con artists that were in here selling us this fake climate change while they're buying their mansions on the beach at the exact same time with the money they got from the people that want to push that so they can build the windmills and build the solar panels, okay? Where do you think these politicians get their payouts from? Who do you think gives them the 50 million, the 60 million, the 100 million? Who do you think pays for the speeches? The ones that got the contracts off of the snake oil cells. The ones that got the, go ahead and say this is true, and I'll give you the contract, and then you pay me on the back end when I get out of office. That's where it came from. You got to be smarter about how this stuff works. You want what you want. You want high income. You want quality health care. And you want you and your family to be safe. That's what you want. Now, back the people that will help get that for you. Back the people. Let me rephrase that because that's wrong. Back the people that will create the environment that will allow you to have the equal opportunity to get those things. Do not back the people that will create the environment that will make sure you don't have the opportunity to get those things. All you want is opportunity. You don't want a guaranteed outcome. You don't want equality of outcome. You want equality of opportunity. That's what you want. So that's the facts. I hope it's clear for some of you now about how this really works and why things are important and why other things aren't important and who to listen to and who not to listen to. If someone isn't talking about how to increase your income, and if someone isn't talking about how you can buy better health care, if they're saying, I'm going to give you better health care, they're lying. It's snake oil. They can't. It's not even possible. Don't buy the free stuff, bullshit lie. They're conning you. I don't want you to buy me free health care. I don't want your free health care. I want my health care that I bought and paid for because I control it. I know whether it's good or not. And if it isn't good, I'll fire them and I'll go to somebody else and I'll say, hey, you want my money? You better make my health care good. That's the choices you want. You don't want government-backed health care. Yeah, you didn't pay for this, so you're going to get what you're going to get. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you're in an emergency room for 12 hours waiting to be seen. Yeah, that's what you get for free. Sorry, thanks for playing. I'll be at my mansion on the beach telling you about climate change. Don't fall for this scam anymore. Come on, people. Don't fall for it. As always, please like, subscribe, share, tag people, bring them into this conversation. It's important. We got 30 or so days to make these decisions that are going to affect us for a while. Want the opportunity of equality of opportunity. Just go for that. Trust me. Go for that. Go for it. Equality of opportunity. That's all you want. Go for it. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next one.